Hello guys, Sega20X here, ready to take a great video about my favorite animal games part 1. Here in this video we have Zoo. That's right, Zoo with 3 O's. This game was on the Game Boy Advance before it was ported to the PS2. That's right, this is a puzzle game. So let me check this out. Okay, in this game, as I demonstrate, you have to match the 3 faces, so. And then you move your cursor. Sorry about the glitch. Yes, in Zoo, you have to make sure you match the faces before the timer runs out. In my next stop, we have Oriental Legends 2, which is a game that came out in 2004. Here, you can select any animal character, from a Wukong, which is a monkey character, all the way to my favorite character, the elephant. And yes, you will be fighting the monsters. I know this is the 6th time I mentioned this because it's a special game. Because I know I never left Taiwan or Korea. Okay, moving on. Here is another game I like because it has elephants. That's right. So, even though it is a Super Nintendo game, but I gotta mention this again. This is... That's right, wait for it. This is... Pecky and Marlin, where you play as 2 elephants who are diagnosed with diabetes, but it's a good educational game, like I said in my last video, so you get the picture. Here at number 4, we have an arcade game by Jellico called Chameleon. That's right. You play as a lizard that eats chicken eggs. You have to avoid the chickens, and the bombs will turn the chickens into roasted chickens. But watch out for the fallen eggs, or you get splat. So don't let the enemies touch you. Yes, that's right. You just use the ton as your weapon. And your rope. Okay, that's all I have to say. So moving on to number 5. If you thought chameleons or any kind of lizards were cool, get a load of this game. That's right, it's a Sega Genesis game called Dinosaurs for Hire by Tom Masons, based on the comic book. That's right, you can play as Archie the T-Rex all the way until most people prefer Reese the Stegosaurus because he's durable. This is like Contra with Jurassic Park, if you ask me. That's right. Believe me, it's a pretty good game, so give Dinosaurs for Hire a shot, since it's an overlooked gem. Okay, moving on to number 6. If you thought that game made you go prehistoric, give Toki a try. That's right, this is the arcade version. I know it was also ported on the Nintendo, and the Sega Genesis version is probably the best one, but this is the arcade version, which is pretty good too. So it don't matter, as long as Toki plays like Toki, even though the Sega Genesis went into a different direction. That's right, you play as an ape that shoots things from his mouth, all the way to killing to your enemies, collecting coins, and collecting fruit. Well, in the Sega Genesis version, since this is one of Taito's greatest games. Okay, moving on to number 7. Next up, we have Super Trio, where you can play as the mouse, the cat, and the dog. That's right, this is an action platformer. Since I wasn't aware that it was ported to the MS-DOS home version, since not many people know about this game. It is overlooked, but it's pretty fun, so give it a shot. Okay, next up we have, for number 8, even though it does include 3 games, but I'm just going to talk about Don't Pull, where you play as a rabbit. Yes, it's a knockoff of Pango Except your... Yeah, in Dope Hole, you can collect fruits, because if you collect 10 fruits, you get an extra life. You have to push the blocks like that. And if you match 3 hearts, you get a special. Just don't let the enemies touch you. That's all I'm going to demonstrate. Next up, we have Cookie and BB number 3. Just like the other 2 Cookie and BBs, which is a game that never left Korea, you have to match the food. Just like in this demonstration here. Not much to say about it, but still, since the food does look yummy, since it was taken from the original. Why, the second one just made you shoot balls that match the sport from baseballs and stuff. And I almost forgot to mention, the red bomb will delete anything. Okay. Gonna move on to number 9 soon. In our next stop, I know it may feature robots, but it does include, wait for it, that's right, rabbits, or in Japan called Rabiolipius, or Rabbit Punch, if you live in the US, that's right. You're playing as 2 robotic rabbits who are here to rescue the people in distress. That's right, you can punch, you can shoot, just watch out for the bosses, and you do have a life bar, so be careful, because the carrots will replenish your life because you're a rabbit. And believe me, rabbits do eat carrots. Like Bugs Bunny when he says, what's up, Doc? Okay, and then our next stop, since I'm going to move on to number 11 soon after this demonstration of Rabiolipius. Okay, let me get a little bit more circus. This is Arrow the Acrobat, which you already saw in my last video, but now I get to put this into my favorite animal game because I enjoyed playing it on the Super Nintendo. That's right, because you play as a bat that collects stuff, since the Super Nintendo version is probably the best version because it sounds more like you're at a circus. And all but not least, even though it was ported to the PlayStation, since I do prefer the PlayStation version, but let me check out the Super Nintendo version of this one because it's still probably the 3rd best port, which is, that's right, wait for it, Wiz the Rabbit. Well, the Super Nintendo got ported by Flare Software, but the Konami ported the PlayStation version. That's right. You play as a rabbit wearing a magician's hat, collecting mushrooms for your health and collecting diamonds. You can do a little spin there. Okay, yes. Like I said, it's an action platformer. So here's a little demonstration of stage 1, which I still couldn't get past due to the time because I still prefer the PlayStation version. So there you have it. That's my favorite animal game, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sega20X out.